Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wherever you happen to find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we're in, this is another scene for Unmask Orlando. This, wherever you happen to find yourself. Oh my god. Okay, gonna say this now. Whoever has their shit coming through their speaker, please turn it off, because we're gonna get massive echo. Okay, gonna say this now. Okay, there we go. Let's try this again. This evening we find ourselves once again in the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Not quite the Elysium, but on the same property. With two oddities for Orlando. An old clan Zamisi and an Assamite. Color the prince and his council intrigued. They are led up through the hotel into the prince's penthouse suite by this man. And at this point, I will let you two make your own introductions.
Would you like to go first?
You go ahead.
In walks Thorn Aluze. Actual human name, Julian Weregild. He's taken Alize from his sire. Smelling a little bit of booze and smoke from the local nightclubs. Needed a top off before the evening began. He has a small box that looks like a case of flowers underneath his arm. Taps off his shoes before he enters and looks around pleasantly. His long hair is tied up in a bun.
Good evening. Obviously, wipe my feet in the carpet as I come in. It's a pet hate of mine to spread dirt. I'm just recently arrived in Orlando. I hope you don't mind my popping in.
Same. Reach out a hand to shake it.
I'll shake Julian's hand. I'm Thomas McMahon, an Assamite from Ireland, originally.
I go by Thorn Alize. Pleased to meet you.
Who is this ugly chap with us?
Actually, he would be in his Mask of 1,000 Faces. He rarely drops his mask.
I can't see through it. That's the problem. It hurts.
Actually, that depends on your level of auspex.
2, but I try not to be nosy about using it. But I do look around. Is there anyone else in the waiting area?
No, it's just the three of you.
In that case, I do kind of put an eye toward the third gentleman and ask him if he is the one that we are supposed to meet.
Oh no, I'm not the prince. He will be with you shortly. He would take you both into the prince's office.
Going with Tyrone.
So how long have you worked here? Or how long have you been in the city?
Not long. None of us have.
I understand Sabat. It was largely Sabat not too long ago.
Yes, we've been fighting for the last 3 years to take it back.
Our
If you need assistance taking care of them, my bank account is always looking for donations.
Tyrone would lift a brow and walk out of the room. At
Well,
which
this is awkward.
point,
and I'm sorry, I did not catch. What's your name again? Thomas.
Thomas McMahon.
I glance over at Thomas. I'd say after Tyrone leaves us, I thought the Sabat situation was done. I wasn't quite ready to move into a war zone. Those are messy.
Well,
at
with
which
any
point,
war, I'm sure
this
there's
young woman
survivors.
looks in. This young woman walks in.
Business has just picked up, my dear man.
Good evening, gentlemen. The prince will be with you shortly, but I came to see if I could offer anything to drink for either of you.
Immediately stand and turn it and do a light bow.
What a gentleman.
I picked up some on the way in. May I make your acquaintance? I'm Thorn Aluze, new to the city.
Primogen Katya von Essen, Clan Tremere.
Offering Katia my hand.
I understand your oh shit. I understand your clan has princehood in the city.
Yes. Prince Michael Darien is also of my clan.
It is a pleasure to meet you, young lady.
She would extend her hand to each of them in turn.
I will take your hand and kiss it in a gentlemanly way and state it is a pleasure to be in your presence.
Can I get you anything to drink?
No, thank you, my lady. I'm fine for the moment.
As am I.
Of course. She would step out of the room for just a brief second. And then she would re-enter the room. This time with this man at her side. He would move around and take a seat behind the desk.
You're the prince, I assume, then, good sir.
Yes, Prince Michael Darien, Clan Tremere.
My lord.
Thomas McMahon at your service.
Thorn Aluze.
So, I assume... Seriously? Would you hush? I assume you are both here to ask permission to reside in this domain.
Yes, actually. I find myself driftless and without a current abode.
Name, clan, lineage.
Thomas McMahon, Clan Assamite, and my sire was called Conrad, and I'm a 10th generation.
And you?
Thorn Aluze. My sire is named Alexander Aluze. He is, of course, of the Odoraira League. I'm afraid I must admit that I do have a sister of the blood of the same generation as me who is in the Sabat. But I believe most of her goings on are in Africa and Europe. Be assured, if I were to find her anywhere in the area, I would love to have her removed by any means possible.
He looks a little intrigued by the fact that before him sit an Assamite and an old clan Zacy.
And I also wonder in the back of my head if they were going to wipe out two strangers that just came to see the same time. Maybe they would like to do it at the same time. But I don't say it.
He doesn't look angry. He looks bemused.
I actually have a gift.
Do you now?
I didn't pick Orlando out of a hat. I wanted to join the Camarilla. I believe let's call it what it is. The old ancients that won't get out of their castles are old and won't get out of their castles. I want to join the Camarilla, and I wanted to come back to my home of Florida. I chose Orlando because I found out the Tremere are in charge, and I give a this and slide the flower box, toward him.
He would take the box and open it.
It appears to be a femur of a human with a leather wrap around the base, as if it looks like a club.
You would raise an eyebrow.
I'm also raising eyebrows at this.
Katya also looks just a bit confused, concerned, possibly.
Recovered in 1492, we believe. From an area near the Black Cathedral. It appears to have magical properties.
I'll have the clan look into it. Gotcha. Would you take it? He would close the box and hand it off to her, and she slips out of the room. So, is there anything that you would ask of my throne?
I would just ask for a small domain where I can take care of myself, so to speak, Your Highness. And of course, I would not be adverse to assisting you with any issues you may have.
He would nod. And you?
I perhaps may be a little bit more ambitious. I'm here to study American occultism. It's like I've had 120 years of European, and now I have much to catch up on. I wish to have permission to have a domain, and permission to travel in and out of that domain at my leisure.
Well, that is of your own accord.
And also permission, of course, to study my magics. And don't look directly into his eye, but look directly into the side of his face, of which are interesting. And possibly not of what is known to your clan.
I suppose I could grant you permission to continue studying your magics.
Perhaps an accord can be struck of some kind of sharing of knowledge.
Of that, you will need to discuss with the Lady Regent, Miss Von Essen, when she returns.
Returns?
As I said, she is taking that to our clan.
Bow.
I grant you each domain. I will have to have my men draw it up, but you will have it. For now, you are each allowed to stay within the hotel, hunt as you please, as long as it is
discreet
and maintains the masquerade.
Of course.
And then he looks directly at Thomas. Now, your clan seems to have issues with the right of destruction.
If my clan does, I'm not part of that particular sect.
I will make this clear. Unless hired, you will maintain the tradition of destruction. Which means you
Understood,
are
my
not
prince.
to destroy another kindred within my domain, or I will have you blood hunted. Is that understood?
Crystal clear, my prince.
Good. Now, Evelyn, he would call out, and that would be followed by this woman walking into the room. Are you quite all right?
Madam, and look around, a little confused.
What can I get for you, Prince Darian? Go get some drinks for us if you would, my dear. She would nod and go retrieve a couple of drinks. She would place in front of each of them on the desk 1 glass of whiskey and 1 glass of blood, leaving it up to them to choose which they take.
I down the whiskey in one shot and then sip on the blood.
Do you have the eat food merit?
No.
If not, you will be puking that right back up. So I will go ahead and say that you didn't do that, so you don't puke on the prince's floor in your first session.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yes, to actually maintain any kind of eating of any mortal food, you have to have the eat food merit.
Ah, I didn't know that was a merit, sorry.
It is. That's okay. But yeah, she will leave it up to each of them which glass they take. She herself takes a glass of whiskey and sits down sort of against the prince's desk. So, who are these two interesting fellows? Well, introduce yourselves to the lady.
Before so, but say I'm going to use thaumaturgical sight to check out the blood she put in front of me, and also kind of glance around the room pretty good.
The room is absolutely just glowing with energy. The blood is fine. There's nothing magical about it. It's just regular blood.
It is a pleasure to meet you, dear lady. How may I be of assistance?
Eve Wright, Clan Malkavian.
Thomas Cookman of Asamite at your service.
And you?
Thornaluze, ma'am. I'm assuming you are Primogen, since you are in the... Well, about to say, it looks like it's the prince and most of the other, his higher-ups, and the council, so to speak. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I don't reside in Orlando. I'm simply here visiting my childer, who, yes, is the seated Primogen of Clan Malkavian.
Ah, this is my first time back in my homeland for 100 years myself.
Oh, this is certainly not my homeland. I hail from Paris.
Oh, I made assumptions. Do you travel a lot, madam?
Oh, yes. When you live as long as I have, travel is one of the ways we avoid boredom.
Indeed. I've yet to master the routes. About to say, I've heard many gangrel talking about their wild routes, but I'm afraid I've been stuck in... And I look a little sad about this. I've been kind of stuck out in the wild for a while. I'm quite happy to be back into civilization.
Well, if you need a tour of the city, I might not be the one to ask for help, but I could certainly arrange something.
I trust my lady's eyes and thoughts far over mine. And give her a bow.
You're sweet. So, tell me a little about yourselves. Where are you from?
I hail from the Emerald Isle myself originally.
Ah,
I'm just down to yourselves from Boston recently.
and
It
you.
was not to my taste.
Born,
Understandable.
born here, but I was picked up by family from overseas and sent over
Ah,
to learn the ways of magic when they found I had the gift for it.
ah.
It's been a
Magic.
lonely. Oh,
Magic can be fun, but I always preferred other gifts of the blood myself.
it could also be quite boring after being stuck in 100 years in a drafty old castle, which I assure you still exist out there in Romania and the surrounding areas.
Ah, yes, indeed. By the way, she does have that little kind of tiara on, but it extends down slightly further to the center of her forehead.
Gotcha.
That's actually a very lovely tiara you're wearing, madam.
I thank you. I wear it mostly to cover certain things, but
Tilts my head. Madam,
sh- she would lift the tiara off and then close her eyes, and in the center of her forehead opens a third eye.
Oh, that is interesting, I have to say.
well, I kind of immediately look around for any other Tremere.
The prince would be visibly stiff, but he's not going to say anything because he knows how powerful this woman actually is.
Madam, are thou of Clan Malkavian, or have you simply picked up one of their books?
I am of Clan Malkavian. I am not a salubri. I learned this skill from a very dear friend during the oh heavens, it was the oh 1200s. Yes, that was it.
Oh, swoon! This time I'm like literally like swooning. Do you have an interest in the history and the lore of our kind? I would
Of
love.
course.
Oh, madam, I would adore you to give me just a part of your time before you leave.
Of course. I will set up a meeting at a later date. I'll probably be here for a few months at the very least.
I am at your leave.
It will be a pleasure to make your acquaintance again, dear lady.
Of course. She would set the tiara back on her head after the third eye closes. But yes, I have been alive for a very long time. It's clear that she's, kind of ignoring the prince entirely at this point.
Aw, someone feel a little ignored. No, 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 yeah, not say that at all. But in fact, etiquette too. Play back toward the prince. Let's say, is there any time? Is there any small boons that we may present to you? Sorry, I'm still in old world speak.
That does take quite a while to break yourself up, doesn't it?
It's nice to have people around in actual dresses and suits for a change instead of the mixtures. Yes.
It took some time to break myself of speaking in the old tongue.
My master actually had me speak only in Latin for the first 3 years.
Oh heavens.
Ah, now you understand why I'm quite willing to come back and try the Camarilla out, madam.
Yes. But for now, I think it best to leave. How best to put this? We should probably call this meeting to an end. It seems our prince is getting tense. There is just this hint of deviousness on her face when she says this. So I shall walk you two out.
Thank you kindly, my lady, for your hospitality. Good day, Your Highness.
The prince would nod.
I give him the bow back because I'm still in bow mode.
As you should.
Yeah.
The bow is kind of an important thing.
Lord. And since she's walking us up, come to the door, open the door for her and our new Asmite buddy. Always be nice to the Asmites, just in case.
Yes, Eve would, walk you guys out and have Tyrone open up the elevator door and take the keys so she can take you guys back downstairs.
If all three of us are in the hallway of the elevator, I could make a quick joke. What appears to be a Salubri, an Asmite, and an old Clanzamise walk into a bar. About the time, and when she hits the button, the last time I believe this happened, a million Bali cried out in horror.
Indeed. Yes, I have spent many a day with old Clan Zamisi and with the Assamites.
Look at
Unfortunately, my lady, we're not always a talkative bunch.
Yeah, Thomas, about to say where I'm from, about to say I'm used to meeting your viziers and your sorcerers and what I consider honorable judges of your clan. Please don't assume that I think that what your clan is what the American Camarilla think it is. I've heard horrible crap about what they think of you all. And I know
Now,
that's not the
now.
entirety of your clan.
They are assassins, after all. Always make friends with the assassins, lest you end up being the next target.
Unfortunately, we're not actually very choosy about our targets, more our employers.
Choose then.
I don't have an employer yet.
I don't believe that we are each of our blood alone. I'm still myself. Of course, my blood colors my magics, my powers, and of course our flaws.
Yes.
But I believe we remain ourselves. I say, do what you need to do, sir. If you want to strike on your own, do so.
It would be noted that Eve seems incredibly composed and sane for a Malkavian.
They tend to do that right before they set the room on fire.
Excuse me. She has a third eye. I think that's insane enough for me.
She would let the elevator open and lead them to the exit of the hotel. I will set up a meeting with you. Thorn, was it?
Please. Pull out a business card, actually, and give her a card.
Thank you.
My number is on the back.
She would nod.
A pleasure to meet you, madam. I have a business card for you. My number's on the front.
She
It
would
is, it is
take
considered
that one also.
it is considered bad manners to write on your business cards.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting both of you. I look forward to doing this again.
Indeed, milady.
And with that, I think we can call our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.
Thank you
We'll
for running.
see you next time.